most people are like, okay, like if they follow Boog stuff, they're like, okay, I know who that is. But like half of the people out there, they're like, who the fuck is that? And I'm like, how do I describe? You know the BLM meme with the dude and the aloha shirt and the chick, and they're like, oh, that guy? Who the fuck is that guy? And I'm like, okay, so we got to start with our basic thing. Who are you? Like, where did you come from? What is this?
So, let's see. I'll just start in my involvement into the political realm along with firearms and the Second Amendment, which is something that I'm wholeheartedly in on supporting. So I got out of the Marine Corps. I ended up getting hurt. I got an honorable discharge. And when I got out, I began building militias when Virginia started increasing their gun control measures. I began waking up to the realization that the duopoly is not for us, it's against us, about a year ago. And I built 18 militias in the state of Virginia. Most of them with the 18, most of them with the libertarian mindset. My group was involved in the training, grassroots training of over 4,000 Virginians within a year. We were doing trainings every weekend, sometimes twice a week as well. And we began building. And then in February, I held my first public militia muster. And Vice News asked if they could come out and cover it. And I said, sure. Because as much as I dislike President Trump, he has proved one thing: you can take media and make it work for you.
Yeah.
And that's what I ended up doing. And after Vice came out, they kind of began tagging along with me some places. I didn't really care. I didn't let them come a lot of places, but some places I allowed them to come to. And then I think they'll have some more stuff coming out in October and maybe another part coming out in December as well. But in March, Duncan Limp actually built my website for me, which I now can't even get into because I don't understand anything about that stuff, coding and such. But he actually built my website for me, and he had texted me the night he was raided and killed. And when that happened, it pushed me over the edge. I said, I'm done with this. And I donned the Hawaiian shirt, and I began looking into the boogaloo movement heavily. And I said, this is something I want to be a part of. And it was meant as a joke to begin with, but we can actually make this serious. We can make it a movement, and we can make it powerful. And so I started pouring my heart and soul into the boogaloo movement. I held a rally on July 4th in Richmond, Virginia, which is where I'm from. I'm from Virginia. I said, let's hold a 2A rally, but let's have a lot of boogaloo boys come in. And that's what we did. We made it big. Some protesters came out to protest against us because they thought it was just another white supremacist rally. And we joined with them. We joined forces with them. We met, we talked, we realized we had a lot more in common than what we thought. Neither side of us liked Joe Biden or President Trump. Neither side of us were supremacists. We talked, we put some of our political differences aside, and we stood together to support the Second Amendment. And after that, it just got bigger. And I believe some white supremacists had shown up at that rally for a different event that day. We confronted them. We handled business. They left. And then after that, we ended up helping put on a Black Guns Matter rally there in Richmond with Black Lives Matter 757, because to make something clear, I don't stand with the national organization. I stand with a lot of the local groups. And they had me come out and speak, so I went and spoke there. Still putting in a lot of work with my militia units across Virginia, along with several boogaloo groups I'm involved with. And here I am. I've attended a couple of Black Lives Matter protesters. I've squared off with cops a few times, and we'll be doing that again here soon. I can't say much, but Richmond banned firearms at events and rallies inside Richmond, and we're going to respond to that here soon.
So real quick, Duncan Lemp built your website,
yes,
and
sir.
then he gets killed by the police.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he was involved in some other stuff. I can't go into so much detail, nothing bad, but I definitely do believe that he was targeted 100%. I don't believe that it was just a haphazard, no-knock red flag. I believe that Duncan was targeted and Duncan was murdered. And it broke my heart. I talked with his mother a little while back when I was tossing around the idea of scheduling a protest outside of the Montgomery County PD there. And just listening to her and how heartbroken she was, man, it's devastating. And that's why I'm not going to stop until until I see justice for Duncan.
A fish wanted to ask if you feel like a celebrity, and like if anybody treats you differently, like do you get noticed? Is there like a problem in your everyday life now?
He's not a pedophile. He can't be a celebrity.
Yeah. When I first started, I became very well known in Virginia. So this didn't really affect me much as far as like the picture that went viral and then everybody becoming intertwined with me. I'm a normal dude living a normal life, and I love my country. Sadly, and I've been bashed a lot because I've seen it, especially among the Libertarian movement, the party. I get bashed a lot because people think I'm there for the cameras, and I'm like, you do realize that I never once invited the cameras here. I'm not asking them to follow me. The reason I talk to them is because people need to realize that I don't see another young person outside of, I see very few actually standing up and getting their voice out there. So if I have the chance to get my voice out there to be that one voice crying out of millions, I'm going to take that chance. And as far as has it changed me or changed my life, I'm working with a political campaign right now to get a libertarian-minded individual elected. I'm not going to go into much detail because I'm not going to put their name on this right now. But I've knocked on doors where people have known who I was. They recognize me from the news. They recognize me from Vice. They recognize me off of YouTube or Facebook or whatever. And in a way, it's exhilarating because it's like, hey, I'm making a difference. I do have to be careful at times because anybody like that, it can give me a big head. And I'm being honest, I'm not someone to hide that. And it's one of the reasons I came down here to Texas was to get away from the cameras for a little while, take a break, relax, focus on myself, focus on some other things as well. So I wasn't there in the limelight consistently because it does get to you after a while. It seems cool to start with, and then afterwards it just kind of becomes the same old. But I've always had the mentality of, hey, if they're going to come to me, then I'm going to use it to my advantage, and I'm going to spread that word and show other people that, hey, I'm 19 years old and I've got the balls to take a stand. I want you to do the same. Here's my voice crying out. And if I get the chance to portray that, then I'm going to get the chance to publish that everywhere, if you understand what I'm saying. What Paxton was saying, I come from a very right, conservative, Republican background. I mean, I was a diehard Trump supporter in 2016. The average country boy waving the Trump flag, flying rebel flags, said some dumb stuff. You know, I grew up that way. And I began breaking away from it about a year ago, so I'm still learning.
I just want to take the time and like have a Christian conservative moment with Mike Dunn here. Yeah. Like, have you ever imagined the idea that you would be like standing up to a police officer and telling them no?
As far as a couple of years ago, definitely not. I was the whole back to blue kid. I was your average country kid raised in the South, and. So no, as far as my raising goes, my father is a pastor. He's a pastor of an independent fundamental Baptist church in Virginia. He's a whole lot better.
That's about as south as you can get.
Yeah.
He's a whole lot better man than I'll ever be. And I respect my father. We don't see eye to eye on some things, but I respect him. So that's the type of raising I come from. I've been doing a lot of changing and realizing a lot of things myself. I identify as Christian. But I don't hold anything against anybody else. I'm not here to judge nobody. I'm not here to put my belief over yours. Because in the end, whether we're right or wrong, I guess we're all going to find out inevitably. But at the end of the day, no, with my raising, I never thought I would be facing off with police officers. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos where I have. I never would have thought I would have come to that point. Now I'm all about it because I realize that they're a tool of the state, and it just being their job is what's going to tread all over each and every one of us, and what already has tread over each and every one of us. America should have been finished. The United States should have stood up when Ruby Ridge happened, when Waco, Texas happened, regardless of what you think about Mr. Hold on, my mind just went blank. Give me a second.
Koresh.
Yeah, David Koresh. Regardless of what you think of David Koresh, if he was in his community and he wasn't necessarily bothering nobody and he was doing his thing religiously, the United States had no business stepping in and doing anything about that. And when they did, for 50-something freaking days, that they laid siege to that place, and nobody stood up. Nobody stood up. And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to sit here and give props to the Oklahoma City bomber.
Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah, Timothy McVeigh. I'm not going to give props to him. But I will say that he saw the lack of people standing up, and it pissed him off.
Yeah.
And he messed up. He messed up where he went and how he did it. But it pissed him off. The issue is nobody freaking stood up. You know, Duncan Lemp was murdered. And we all can make wonderful little memes about it and say something about it. But people really need to stand up. You know, and it's something and it's one of the reasons I took the chance at the cameras, going back on one of the former points, was because now if they kill me, I'm well known enough, I would hope that somebody would freaking stand up. Somebody would say, you know what? We're doing something about this. Because the generation before me failed to do something in the 90s. So now it's falling on our heads. It's our turn to do something. And it should have never gotten to this point. So no, I would have never thought I would have stood up to an officer, but here I am, and I'm doing what I do so my children don't have to, hopefully.
So that being said, like and subscribe on our Facebook and Twitter. If you like what we have to say, go ahead and click on our CoinTree link, and you can find all of our various medias where you can help us buy a wood chipper. I think they cost about $2,000 to $3,000, and we're quite a far way away. If you really like us, what you can do is go to our subscribe star. I believe it is.
All the lights on and shit like that.
We would appreciate it if you go to our subscribe star and subscribe, because if you do that, especially in, I think it's the middle range, you can actually get my erotica, where I talk very dirtily to you about Ron Paul and Ayn Rand, for example. And if more of you subscribe to that, I'll actually produce more content where you can really start jerking your meat to the idea of dead pedophiles and, well, most likely more Ron Paul things, maybe even the Boog moment. Maybe we'll get fucking Mike Dunn in there. What's he gonna do? Sue me? Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe our content. Follow us on Twitter. We have all of our tags below. Really, honestly, like if you can donate $1 to us, it really goes far. Mike and I are taking all this stuff and throwing it directly out of our pockets. We need money. It's straight up. Like we're capitalists. This is the free market. If you like our shit, spare $5. Buy me a coffee. That's where all the money is going to. Is my coffee addiction. And wood chippers. Coffee and wood chippers. That's where the money is going. Please like and subscribe.
And lubricant.
And Mike lights up another blunt. Okay, thank you guys very much. We'll talk to you guys next Monday. We should have more videos out pretty soon. Please buy a wood chipper. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. I still beat it off to that.